Hello everyone. In this video we will do the water content determination and the tests which we perform to calculate the water content of a soil. So this is the first test to be conducted after taking a soil sample. This is because the water content will change during the transportation and storage also. So this is the first test we need to conduct before doing any other test, and it is very important for almost all the applications. If we want to know we want to classify the soils or to know the dry unit weight, we should know first the water content. And for the consistency limits also that we will see later in this unit, for that also we need to know the water content, and it can be measured accurately because it is just based upon the mass, and mass can be measured more accurately than the volume. The water content we know is given as weight of water to the weight of solid, so we just need to know these weights, so it can be measured with high accuracy. There are some methods which we are going to cover. First is oven drying method, then torsion balance method, pygnometer method, sand bath method, and calcium carbide method. So let's see them one by one. First is oven drying method. This is the easiest method for calculating the moisture content with high accuracy, and it is performed in laboratory. But there are some pre-defined conditions for this method, like the sample should be heated for up to the temperature of 105 to 110 degrees Celsius and for 24 hours. So this condition is there because if we go beyond the temperature of 110, so what will happen if some water is there in the structure structure of the soil, so the crystalline water which is there in the structure that may lose if we heat up the sample beyond this temperature. So we need to limit our temperature up to this value, and if it is a sample of organic soil, then the temperature should be between 60 to 80 degrees Celsius, because if we go beyond this temperature in this case, then the whatever the organic matter is there, it starts to oxidize. So we need to take care of these things, and we can simply do this test. The readings which we take in this test are, if we take the sample in a container, so we take the weight of the container. Let's say that reading is W1, and then we take the weight of the container plus weight of the moist sample. That reading we are calling W2, and then after oven drying we will calculate another weight W3, that will be weight of the container plus dry sample. So we need know that water content is given as weight of water to the weight of solids. So weight of water we can calculate from W2 and W3. So it can be given as W2 minus W3. And weight of solids we can find out by, if from this reading W3 we can deduct the weight of the container, and so we'll get the weight of dry soil, that is the weight of solids. So it is W3 minus W1. The water content is given as W2 minus W3 divided by W3 minus W1. This is the formula for this method. Next is the torsion balance method. In this method, two things are necessary. First is an infrared lamp to heat up the sample, and next is the torsion balance moisture meter. So how does this method work? Let's say there is a wire, so is like this. And so what we do, we give it some torsion by rotating it from one end, and it will be measured along some scale, like on the periphery, let's say there is some scale. So we will give it torsion, and after applying torsion we put the soil sample on this tray here. And so it will this the weight of this sample will counteract that torsion, so it will not move back. But after this, what we'll do, we'll put some infrared light on this sample. So because of that, the sample will heat, and it will start losing its moisture. And because of losing that moisture, this plate will start rotating in the other direction, and we can measure that rotation from the given scale. And the scale is calibrated such that so we can directly measure the water content from this. And this is it for this method. Next is pycnometer method. This is a very quick method if we compare it with the one drying method. So we use it when we know the specific gravity of soil, and if we need to calculate it quickly, we use this method. So pycnometer is nothing but a bottle. It is somewhat like conical from the top, and so we take some readings from this bottle. What are those readings? First we'll take W1 as the empty pycnometer bottle reading. So W1 is the empty bottle weight. Then W2, we will put some moist soil sample in this pycnometer bottle, and we'll weigh it again. So it is bottle plus moist sample. And W3 is the rest of the part which is there in the bottle. We fill it with water, and so some air may be there on the top of it. So for removing that air, we can apply vacuum, or we can shake the bottle and then heat it up a little so that air will go out. And after removing that air, we take the weight W3. So W3 is equal to the bottle plus soil plus water. And the last reading is the bottle plus, we completely fill it with water, that is bottle plus water. And so we know that water content is equal to weight of water to the weight of solids. The weight of water we can calculate. If I deduct W2 minus W1, and so it will give me the weight of moist sample. And from the moist sample, if I deduct the weight of solids, that is just weight of the dry sample, so it will give me the weight of water. And the water content we know is equal to, from using this we can write it W2 minus W1 minus Ws upon Ws. So W is equal to W2 minus W1 upon Ws minus 1. So for now we need to know the weight of the solids. So we can use the specific gravity for calculation of weight of solids. We use these both readings for that. So from here, if I can write W4 is equal to W3 minus Ws. So what we are doing here is, if in this reading in W3, if I remove the soil part, so it will, this much part of water will remain. And if I replace this part with water, so I'm removing the soil and replacing it with water. So whatever the volume we are getting for the soil, that volume should be filled with water. So we can use the specific gravity here. Specific gravity formula, we know that it is given as Ws upon Vs gamma W. And from here, volume of solids is equal to Ws upon Gs gamma W. And and this much volume we want to fill it with water. So if I multiply the volume into unit weight of water, it will give me the weight of water in this given volume, in the given volume of solid. So I can write it as, this is the volume part, Gs gamma W multiplied by unit weight of water. So this equation is W4 we are writing as W3, which is this total weight minus weight of soil solids, so that is Ws, and plus the whatever volume was covered by soil solids, we are replacing it with water. So this is how it is done, and from here we can calculate the Ws. So it can be written as W3 minus W4 is equal to Ws minus Ws upon Gs. So W3 minus W4 is equal to Ws Gs minus 1 upon Gs, and the value of Ws we calculate from here and we put it in this equation. So Ws from here is, Ws is equal to W3 minus W4 into Gs upon Gs minus 1, and if I put it in this water content equation, we get W2 minus W1 divided by W3 minus W4 into Gs minus 1 upon Gs minus 1. So you don't need to remember this big formula, you just need to remember the bottle readings we are taking, and then how we are replacing the weight of solids from to the weight of water. This part, if you understand clearly, then you don't need to remember this formula, you can derive it anytime. So this is how we calculate the water content using pictometer method. Next is sand bath method. This is a field method, and if we want to calculate the moisture content directly in the field, then we use this method. So in this method, what we do, sand bath is just a container, and which is filled with at least 3 centimeter of soil. So in this container, what we do, we take the sample in a tray. Let's say we are putting it here, this is our soil sample, and then we heat this soil sample and along with the sand bath. So we are heating the sand bath and indirectly it is heating up the sample. So to avoid the overheating, what we do, we put some paper on the soil sample, and if that paper is turning to brown color, we put the white paper, and if it is turning to brown color, it means that the sample is overheated. So we should avoid that, and this heating is continued for 20 to 60 minutes. And from here we can calculate the water content as W. If I take the final reading, that will give me the dry soil, this should be W initial minus W final, which means that weight of sample initially, it means the soil which is having moisture minus weight of final sample, which will be a dry sample, and divided by final sample minus weight of tray. So it will give us the weight of solids. So this is how we calculate using the sand bath method. Next is the calcium carbide method. So it uses the fact that when the water reacts with calcium carbide, it produces acetylene gas. And so what we can do, we can measure the pressure of this gas. The equipment which is used in this case, it is such that if we put that soil sample in that equipment and we react it with calcium carbide, then it will release the acetylene gas, and so that acetylene gas will apply some pressure on that container. So we measure that pressure, and it is calibrated in such a way that that pressure reading indirectly gives us the moisture content. So this moisture content will be with respect to the total mass. That is, say this is bulk moisture content, it will be weight of water to the total weight. And if we want to calculate the actual moisture content, so we can get it from this weight of water plus weight of solids. And if we solve this equation, it is Wt into W plus Wt into Ws is equal to Ww, and from here W upon Ws is equal to Wt upon 1 minus Wt. So from here we can get the actual moisture content. So in this, just the equipment is calibrated in such a way that whatever pressure that gas is producing, so when this reaction is taking place, the acetylene gas will release. So we are measuring the pressure applied by this gas, and we are calibrating it in such a way that it will give us the moisture content of the sample. So that's it for the moisture content. Next we will see the unit weight and specific gravity.